There are moments on live television that you cannot make up, cannot write in a script, and cannot plan through any production or preparation. These are the accidental ones. The times when the professional media setup breaks a little and lets something real come out. The moments when a person who knows something says it out loud before his careful brain can stop him. Honestly, I have watched a lot of live television. I have seen many of those moments. What happened on First Take this morning, what I watched happen live while leaning closer and closer to my screen as the meaning became clear, was the best one I have ever seen. And it started with Ryan Clark simply answering a question about the Los Angeles Lakers. Hey, what's up everyone? Real quick before we get into everything, that like button is literally what determines if this reaches hundreds or thousands of fans. Takes 1 second, but makes a huge impact on the channel's growth. Just smash that like button right now. It's the easiest thing you can do, but honestly, the biggest way to support this content. Every single like pushes this further, so hit it now. Let me paint the full picture for you before I get to the slip itself, because the way the talk reached that point is important to understand why the slip felt so big. The show had a special guest in the studio, Ryan Clark, a former NFL safety and now ESPN analyst. He is a man with strong connections inside the sports world from years of playing at the highest level. Clark was there to talk about the off-season plans for teams around the league. This is a wide topic that lets a guest speak freely and with confidence about many teams. Molly had been going through a part about Western Conference teams and what they need most this summer. The Lakers came up naturally. The conversation was smooth and professional. Stephen A. was making his usual points about the Lakers' needs on offense. Shannon was giving the opposite view about how to build the roster. Clark was nodding and adding his own thoughts sometimes. Then Molly asked Ryan Clark straight, where do the Lakers need to focus most this offseason? Clark leaned forward like he does when he is sure about his point. He started talking about the Lakers' offense. He said the team has good defense and playmaking, but they lack a real high-volume scorer who can be trusted to score in tough playoff games without everything being set up for him. He was explaining it clearly, and everyone in the studio was nodding. It was good TV in the normal way good first take segments are good, and then he said it. He said, well, from what I'm hearing, that's already being taken care of. He paused for just a tiny second, like someone who suddenly realizes he is about to say something he should not. Then he added, with Michael Porter Jr. The studio froze. I mean it literally. Every person in that room became completely still at the same time. Molly's face changed from calm host to something sharper and more alert. Shannon, who had been leaning back relaxed, suddenly moved forward and put both arms on the desk. And Stephen A. Smith's eyes went wide in that special way that shows not just surprise, but that he already suspected something and now he knows it's true. His whole body seemed ready to get more information before the moment ends. Molly spoke first. She said, wait, what are you hearing? Her voice sounded professional, but you could feel the urgency underneath. Ryan Clark's face changed in a way that was hard to watch. You could see the exact second he realized what he had just said. He pulled back a little in his chair and then answered with a casual tone that was clearly fake. Oh, I mean, that's just speculation. You know how the summer goes. Teams are always exploring things. Dead silence? Stephen A. did not let it go. Stephen A. was never going to let it go. A guest in his studio with real league connections had just said something that sounded like inside info and then tried to take it back with a weak excuse. Stephen A. leaned across the desk with strong energy and said, Ryan, that didn't sound like speculation. That sounded like information. What are you hearing about Michael Porter Jr. and the Lakers? Clark laughed. It was the laugh of a man trying to buy time while deciding how much to say. Everyone knew it, so it did not help him at all. He said he had talked to some people. There was real interest on both sides. The Lakers see Michael Porter Jr. as a top target, and the talks with Brooklyn are further along than what has been reported publicly. Then he stopped and looked at the cameras. You could see he decided he had said enough and would not say more no matter what. Shannon asked, further along how? Meaning what specifically? Clark said, I've probably said more than I should have. Stephen A. said, you've definitely said more than you intended to, so you might as well finish. And Clark, to his credit, and for the good of everyone watching, smiled and said, "There's genuine communication happening between the Lakers front office and Brooklyn. That's real. Everything else I'll leave to people who are paid to report it." I want to walk through every layer of what Clark said, both the parts he meant and the accidental parts, because there is a full basketball story here that needs real talk. Let me start with the basic question. What does Michael Porter Jr. actually bring to the Los Angeles Lakers, and why would the Lakers front office see him as a priority right now? Start with the offensive problem because it is real and it has been happening for a long time. The Lakers have built the team around LeBron James's amazing playmaking and around strong defense. But their scoring from the outside has been up and down in the most important moments. In the second halves of playoff games, in the fourth quarters of do-or-die games, when the defense adjusts and the offense needs someone who can create points from the three-point line without a special play, Michael Porter Jr. at his best is exactly that guy. He averaged about 24 points per game for the Nets this season when he was the main option. He did it with shooting efficiency that most wing players cannot match. Great three-point percentage on high volume. A scoring style that mixes catch and shoot with enough self-creation to stay dangerous even when the defense focuses on him. Now imagine him playing next to LeBron James. Hold that picture in your mind. LeBron is one of the best at creating open threes for his teammates in history. He draws two defenders in the paint, reads the whole floor fast, and passes accurately to shooters before the defense can recover. The catch-and-shoot three that MPJ gives, the ability to stand in the corner or on the wing, wait for LeBron to pull the defense in, and then hit the shot, is the exact weapon that makes LeBron's playmaking even stronger. It is simple. It is clear. It is the best possible fit in basketball. And the fact that the Lakers have not found a player who can do this at MPJ's level explains a big part of their recent offensive problems. Ryan Clark said interest on both sides. That part is very important because it answers why Brooklyn would trade a player averaging 24 points who is their most valuable asset. The Nets are in a real rebuild. They are not trying to win anything big this season or next. They are collecting draft picks and growing young players. Carrying Michael Porter Jr. into the last year of his $40 million contract is not what a rebuilding team needs from its best player. His value is at its highest right now. Not getting maximum value before he becomes a free agent would be a mistake for their front office. Brooklyn has every reason to trade him before the deadline or this summer. The question was always whether the price was okay and whether any team had the right mix of assets, need, and plan to pay it. And this brings me to the risk part, which I want to talk about honestly because it is real and big. Anyone who says it is not telling the full story. Michael Porter Jr.'s injury history is not a small thing. It is a main part of the story. He has had back surgeries. He has missed a lot of games in different seasons. His body has needed serious medical care. For a player who is now 27 and entering his prime, this raises real questions about how long he can stay healthy. If the Lakers make this move, they are not just getting Michael Porter Jr., the scorer. They are getting Michael Porter Jr. and his full medical record. Any smart front office looks at that carefully. But the Lakers' timeline is not 3 years from now. The Lakers' timeline is right now. LeBron James is in the last part of his career. The chance to compete at the highest level with LeBron as the main star is not far away. It is happening now, and the window is closing. In that situation, the risk for an injury-prone scorer changes. You are not betting that MPJ stays healthy for 8 years. You are betting that he stays healthy for one playoff run. That is a very different bet. And at the offensive level, MPJ gives when he is healthy. The scoring volume from outside, the shooting efficiency, the deadly catch and shoot next to LeBron's creation, it is a bet that a team with a closing window should be willing to take. Ryan Clark said real interest on both sides and further along than anything reported publicly. Words like that from a man with his connections mean something. It is the kind of talk that happens in trade discussions when both sides have gone past just talking and into real planning. It is the kind of talk that in 3 months will either look like the start of a deal that happened or the interest before a deal that did not work because of salary cap or picks. But the interest itself is real. Clark said so. and the basketball reasons that would create that interest are very clear in this offseason. Michael Porter Jr. to the Lakers makes sense in a real, measurable, film-supported way like the best offseason moves do before they happen. After the segment ended and they went to commercial, I sat with the TV still on and thought about what Ryan Clark had said, what he almost did not say, and what he said anyway, and I kept coming back to the same thought. Somewhere in a talk between a Brooklyn executive and a Lakers executive, the name Michael Porter Jr. has been said out loud as part of a real discussion, and Ryan Clark was in a room where that was known, and he forgot for one sentence on live television that he was not supposed to say it. And now we all know, and the Lakers offseason just became way more interesting than it was 20 minutes ago,